Warren McCarty with MyPassionIsFootball.com, talking today about the 4th annual MPIF High School Combine that will be held at Bushland High School on May 22nd here in the Texas Panhandle. I kind of wanted to give a brief breakdown of why this event is going on and what we've accomplished through the first 3 events and what we hope to get accomplished moving forward. In 2007, I really started thinking about how the process of college football recruiting was being handled here in the Texas Panhandle. I spent 11 years in pro football. I've been all over the country and pretty much made my living scouting and coaching and evaluating college level athletes. And in doing so, I kind of thought about my own recruiting experience coming out of high school and how I thought it could be better and handled better, and then really started examining how players from this area were recruited. And doing research, I realized that the signing day class of 2008, there were only 7 kids north of Lubbock that actually got football scholarships to go play at the next level. That's out of 72 high schools. Now here in the Texas Panhandle, we play a very high level of football. We have teams that compete at the state championship level every year. The coaching in terms of X's and O's and fundamentals and what kids are taught is top notch. Where we're lacking here in the Texas Panhandle is parents being educated, kids being educated, and just parents, coaches, players being proactive in getting themselves recruited. The world of college football recruiting's changed. If schools are outside this area are going to come to Texas to recruit, it makes much more sense for them to send a college assistant coach who's responsible for an area. If they're going to send them to Texas, they're going to send them to Dallas, they're going to send them to Houston, they're going to send them to San Antonio, where they can go see a bunch of Division I prospects in a day or 2 days or a 3-day or a week period. They can see tons of kids with very little travel, very little expense involved. In order to see all the kids north of Lubbock here in the Texas Panhandle, 72 kids, it would take weeks, literally weeks, to crisscross the Panhandle and see all the different schools and really break down kids. So that's been part of our problem. Second part of the problem, as I mentioned earlier, is parents, coaches, kids not being proactive in the recruiting process. For the longest of times, even dating back to when I was playing, it was more reactionary. Yeah, we got good hard-nosed kids here in the Panhandle. They're well coached, they're well taught, fundamentally sound, good athletes. They're going to handle business in the classroom. But the attitude, kind of the pervasive attitude has always been, if you're good enough to play at that Division I level, you'll get found. They'll find you. Well, that's not the case. That's absolutely not true. Absolutely not true. You have to be proactive, regardless of where you're from, but especially here in this area where we don't have 100 Division I college coaches that come to the city of Amarillo, for example, each year to visit all the high schools and look at all the kids. It's filling out questionnaires, filling out any inquiries from college coaches. It's a whole system that I've kind of come up with to help kids. But the days of thinking if you're good enough you're going to get noticed are over. They're absolutely over. And that's been a real difficult challenge over the last couple of years, trying to get everybody from parents to administrators to players to coaches to understand we got to be proactive. We can do this. These kids here can play. We got to be proactive. So long story short, over the last 3 years, we've put on the high school combine, where I bring in former NFL and college standouts at each position group to come and work out our kids, get all the best athletes and all the aspiring athletes, kids who feel like they want to explore the idea of playing college football. We get them together in one spot, put them through essentially an NFL combine. We test them, we evaluate them on the field, and I send that information out, and I'll get to that momentarily. But the big picture is, in just 3 years, through 3 events, we've got 100+ kids that are playing college football this fall on full or partial scholarships. Those dollars add up to over $1.1 million in athletic scholarship money that's been dished out to these kids. Now remember what I said earlier, 2007, going into the signing day of 2008, February of 2008, only 7 kids north of Lubbock. Yet the last 3 years, we've had over 100 kids. Why? Well, it's not because the talent's been any better the last 3 years. It's because people have been proactive. I've been proactive in trying to help market these kids. Parents have done a better job. Coaches have done a better job. And we've seen the results. 16 D1 football players, every one of them playing this fall, every one of them playing as a freshman or a redshirt freshman. All academically eligible, no off-the-field issues, no arrests, no drama. That's what you get when you go after Texas Panhandle kids. To answer the question of what we do with the Combine, it's very simple. And this is what I feel like separates the MyPassionIsFootball.com Combine versus Schumann's and Nike and Rivals and all these other combines that are held across the country. In my mind, those are meat market events that don't truly evaluate talent. You can go to those events and you'll never see a football, you'll never see coaching, you'll never see drill work. It's just like cattle. What I do with my event is I bring in former NFL players and college standouts at each position group. They do the testing. They do the evaluations just like you would see at the NFL Combine. So we put these kids through 40 short shuttles, measure their height, measure their weight, measure their vertical leap, bench press reps of 185 for skill players, bench press reps of 225 for the bigs, and we get it's true raw data. So when college coaches look at that information, it's not me, it's not the high school head coach, it's not mom and dad saying he's 6'3", 200 pounds. We're giving legitimate height, weight, and testing data, so they know it's legit and unbiased. We take the kids out in the afternoon and we put them through football position-specific drill work. We really evaluate these kids. We go through a 7-on-7 session, we break down the fundamentals of each position, and again, that's done by a former pro and college standout that played at that position. And each kid gets a written evaluation from their position coach. So what I provide to every college in the U.S., that's every JUCO, every NAIA school, and all the NCAA institutions, they get a 2-tab spreadsheet. And on this spreadsheet, we've got the raw, legit, unbiased testing data. We've got a written evaluation on this athlete by a former pro or college standout that played that position. And on the second tab, I've got the high school head coach's contact info, mom and dad's contact info, and any academic info that we have. So essentially what the college coach has is everything they need except film. Now they know how to get in touch with the player, in touch with the high school head coach to request that film, and they've got legit data and a legit evaluation from a guy that they can trust in terms of a former pro or college standout. Second part of the Combine is we put the parents and the kids through a seminar. We talk about when to take the SAT and the ACT, how to determine whether or not you've got the core credits that are required for NCAA Division I football. We talk about how to build your resume, talk about how to build your highlight film, and we're partnering with TexasPanhandleSports.com this year to funnel kids to get them to do their high school highlight film with Philip and his staff at TexasPanhandleSports.com. And I think that would be a tremendous asset because it's uploaded to the website, we can get it up on YouTube, and it's instantaneous for the college coaches who want to take a look at that. So essentially, we're coaching the kids and the parents up on the marketing process, and we're also sending the information out, which saves those college coaches lots of time. Now, this spring has been a tremendous impact in terms of how many college coaches have already been in touch with me, which hasn't happened in the past. But right now we've got college D1 coaches and 1AA coaches proactively recruiting the Texas Panhandle, making inquiries, looking for film, talking to high school head coaches, and the results obviously speak for themselves. We've gone from 7 kids signing in 2008 to over 100 just in 3 years. We expect that the signing day class in February of 2012 is going to be huge as well. When you talk about being proactive and the importance of doing that, it's a team effort. It's the high school head coach helping the kids determine, okay, this is what I think you need to do to get to the next level. It's also putting together the film, it's going through the Combine, it's determining which college camps to go to. And I'll talk about that at the banquet and the seminar. Everybody wants to go to OU's camp, everybody wants to go to the Texas Longhorns camp, but there's a lot of kids across the country that want to go to those camps. For some guys, especially in this area, it makes more sense to go to the schools that you truly have a shot to go play for at the Division I or 1AA level. A, you'll get coached. B, you're going to spend less money. C, you're going to truly get evaluated. And that's part of this whole process in terms of educating folks in this area on how to get to that next level and go fulfill those dreams. And now we're seeing the residual impact as other colleges, other Division I and 1AA schools have noticed. Colorado State, Oklahoma State, Missouri have all had tremendous impacts from players. We've got 16 kids in the last 3 years that are playing Division I football this fall as freshmen, redshirt freshmen are in their second years that are all starting, all making impact. They're all conference guys. We've got a couple of All-Americans. Most importantly, they're handling business in the classroom, no off-the-field distractions. So when schools look at the impact that those 3 schools in particular have had, and then you talk about what these kids here in this area are like, it's a win-win situation for the colleges. So really we feel like this is going to just continue to grow and grow and grow. 3 years in, it's been tremendous, and expecting exponential growth over the next few years. And we'll see how that progresses in terms of maybe doing this event in other parts of the country as well. But it's really had an impact, and it's made parents think about it differently. It's made high school coaches think about it differently. It's made players think about it differently. I want these kids to be able to have a chance to go get some school paid for. It'd be great to get all of it paid for on full scholarship, but also to get a chance to continue playing football, because there's so many guys, and even in the last couple of years, there's still been kids that I haven't been able to help that have still fallen through the cracks. But my goal is to get this event to where nobody falls through the cracks. If a kid handles business on the field, has the ability, has the grades, that we can help them go fulfill their dream and get to play at the next level, get an education, and experience what college football is all about. And it just opens up so many doors and so many opportunities for players. I'm excited about what this event can continue to do, and appreciate TexasPanhandleSports.com in terms of being a video partner for us, because that's obviously a key element in what we do. Look forward to seeing you guys May 22nd, Bushland Stadium for the 4th annual MPIF High School Combine.